Okay, the last set of questions in the Quizizz review. What is the area of a circle with a diameter of 16 centimeters? So we'll start here with 16 centimeters. That's the diameter. Well, half of that is my radius, which is 8. And the reason I went there is we need the radius to find the area of a circle. So area equals pi times radius squared. This is pi times 8 squared, which is 64 times pi, right? That's the exact area, but we're asked to use an estimate, 3.14 is an estimate for pi. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take my handy dandy calculator, probably sick of me saying that, but I don't care. I'm a dork. I'm a math dork, and I call it my handy dandy calculator. So 64 times 3.14, which is our approximation for pi, 64 times 3.14 is equal to 200.96, and of course the label is centimeters squared because this is a measure of area. Next problem. What is the perimeter of the entire figure, not just the arc length? Ooh, I like this question because you have to find out the arc length, the distance around this circle, and then you have to also add in this piece. I like it. All right, let's talk about it. So the circumference of a circle, we're given what it looks like to be the diameter of the circle. The circumference equals pi times the diameter, right? That's the circumference of any full circle. So that would be pi times this diameter is 14, so 14 pi, okay? But there's something wrong with that number. What's wrong with that number is that is the distance around if it were a full circle. Now, wow, that's an awful circle I made there, but you get the point, right? We're only looking at the distance halfway across the circle. So if I take that and divide it by 2, I get 7 pi centimeters, okay? So 7 pi gets me from here to here, all right? So let's do that in red. This distance in red, I was never good at coloring in the lines when I was a kid. All right. You guys get the point, though. The red distance is 7 pi. But now we have to add in what I call the blue distance over here. Well, what's that? That's just 14, right? So we have 7 pi takes us halfway around the circle plus 14. Well, let's use our handy dandy calculator. 7 pi is approximately 7 times 3.14 is 21.98. This is 7 times 3.14 is 21.98 plus we have to add the 14. I don't need a calculator for this now. This is 35.98 centimeters, which is this answer right there. All right, let's move on to number 23. Where am I in the video? 3.5 minutes. Okay, number 23. Ew. Find the area of the circle below. Leave your answers in terms of pi. So we want the exact area. Well, thankfully we are given the radius. So this is really a simple problem. Area equals pi times radius squared. We're given a radius, oops, up here, already of 3. So pi times 3 squared. Order of operations, got to square that first. So that's 9. So 9 times pi is my exact area, and of course it's centimeters, so the area is in centimeters squared. 2 more problems. What is the area of the semicircle? So this is like the question before. All right, well, let's talk about that. Well, if this were let's do it in blue this time. Let's see if I can do a better job. If this were a full circle, right, to get the area, you would use area equals pi times radius squared. Well, that would be pi times radius is half the diameter, so times 7 squared, which is 49 times pi. But there's a problem here. 49 times pi would be the area of the whole circle. we don't care about this area because it's not there. So we need to take that answer and divide it by 2. So 49 times 3.14 divided by 2. Let's see what we get. I'll use my handy-dandy calculator. My son is standing to my left making fun of me. You think I'm a dork, don't you? He's giggling and looking at me. 49 times 3.14 is 153.86, but let's not forget we got to take that answer and divide it by 2, and you get 76 point. Now my son Sam is standing over here. 76.93. 76.93 centimeters squared. There's our answer for that one. And finally, to our last question. What is the circumference of a circle with an area of 50.24 square feet? Hey, you got to get your hand off of there, buddy. I love this question because it requires you to know all of it, everything. So let's start. We're given the area. So the area formula equals pi times radius squared, right? Pi times radius squared. So that would be, and we're asked to use 3.14 in place of pi. So that would be 3.1, let me see. Yeah, we could do it this way. Sorry. 3.14 times the radius squared, which we don't know the radius, we're trying to figure it out, equals 50.24. Well, if I divide both sides by 3.14, I get this number, r squared, right? 3.14 divided by 3.14 is just 1, so r squared is equal to, handy-dandy calculator.
You look like a pilot.
My son's making fun. He says I look like a pilot wearing this headset. I do. 50.24 divided by 3.14 is equal to 16. Ah, nice number here, 16. So I need to get just the radius. So I'm going to take the square root of both these sides. We never give you problems where you can't figure out the square root easily. So r squared divided by, so what number times itself gives you r squared? Well, that would be r times itself. And what times itself gives you 16? Well, that would be 4. So now I have a radius equal to 4. Well, oops, to 4. 4 times 2, the diameter is 8, and 8 times pi, the circumference is 8 pi, right? I'll do it this way, also using the formula. If the circumference formula, circumference is 2 times pi times r, well, 2 times pi times the radius of 4, if I kind of do these out of order, 2 times 4 is 8, 8 pi. So that's the circumference. The exact circumference is 8 pi. Well, I'm asked to use 3.14 as an estimate, so I'm going to do 8 times 3.14, which is equal to 8 times 3.14 is equal to 25.12, not square feet, just feet, because it's the distance around. All right. Hope these videos helped you. Take care.